So I want to talk about when you receive no support in academia. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So when I was in high school, you might have heard the story on this channel before, is that there was a moment, it was basically grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. I didn't have any friends. I really did not. And it took me a long time to figure out how to make friends and sort of focus, just really find a group. And once I found that group, I think it was in grade 11, and things became a lot more fun for me. But there was a moment in my life early on in my development that really framed who I became. And I remember many times just being alone and being by myself all the time. And so I became very isolated, and that's framed me going forward. But, I used to be really ashamed of that. And I still have that sort of emotions that are tied to that kind of thing that happens to you early on in your development as a person. But that carries forward, by the way. So make friends with other people. But I want you to know that actually was a blessing. And this is a thing that I look back and I think, I don't think I'd want anything different. Because now I'm able to stand up by myself and say, screw them. And once you get to that moment where you look up and you have the confidence to be yourself and not worry about anybody else and just walk around and just have that confidence, you switch it around where you stop feeling sorry for yourself and you stop thinking of that you are somehow ashamed or you are somehow problematic or you have something to hide and nobody is supporting you. When you flip it around and you say, screw them, they weren't worth it anyways. When you turn it around like that, all of a sudden everything changes in your life. So, coming back to the idea of not getting any support, this is actually a very, very common problem in academia for lots of different reasons. But, one perspective I like to take is that we're all working on our own individual ideas, and nobody gives a crap about your idea because they think that their idea is better. And they think that they're so much better than everybody else. And that's what everybody does. That's the whole story in academia. In fact, it's probably the whole story in life in general. But it's just exacerbated because we have uncertain ideas and everybody's working on their thing. They honestly do not care about you. And that's okay, right? You have to come down to that they really, truly don't care about you. That, on one perspective, you really are just a number to somebody. You really are just, counts of number of publications. They don't care about you as a person. And so what does that mean? How do you handle that? Well, what you have to do is say, screw them. They don't matter anyways. They're irrelevant in your life. They're a little blip of this tiny little amazing life that you live in. And if you bump into them for half an hour or whatever in your life, that's all you need. Is you just need that little moment to remind you that, hey, your life is pretty good without them. So I want you to sort of think about that, to flip it around, and don't worry about whether you're getting support or if anybody is, helping you out or anything like that. Screw them. They don't matter at the end of the day. They really don't. If they cared, if they truly cared, they would have been there already. And that's something that you have to realize, that as you go about your life, you realize that almost everybody doesn't care. And that's okay. They're living their life and you can live your life. So you need to get to the moment where you just simply say, hey, I'm confident enough to sit at the cafeteria table all by myself, or I'm confident enough to go find a spot where I'm just hanging out by myself. And that's okay. And that is actually a blessing for everybody that's out there. And you are doing your own sort of journeys. It's a blessing to go through this because it gives you confidence to stand up to the rest of the world and say, screw you, my idea who I am is actually pretty good. And I'm going to keep doing that thing regardless of who you are or what you're saying and all of that kind of stuff. You got to remember that. You got to flip it around and take the situation in as your own power. And it's funny as I'm talking about this because I feel nervous and uncertain and all of that kind of stuff, anxious because of this. It brings up so many emotions to me, which is really funny, that it brings up so many emotions. And yet, when that happened to me, I was just 13 years old. I was just a kid. I didn't know anything, and it sticks with you. But then you carry it as, you just get that you don't care. You flip it around, and you don't care. And that's where you need to go to, is they don't matter. They really don't matter. The rest of the world does not matter. You work on your thing. You do your thing, live your life, be happy, live a good life, and that's it. That's all that matters. Those people that you're trying to impress and those people that you're trying to get you to recognize you, they don't matter. They really don't. They're irrelevant in your own individual life. They're a blip, they're a moment, they're there and then they're gone. So I want you to have that feeling of walking into the situation, not as if you're broken, not as if somebody is taken you over and made you feel awful, but you go into it as if you have confidence. You're smiling. You are yourself are pretty freaking amazing. You're remarkable. As soon as you flip it around and you get that power, man, your whole life changes, and you don't care about what people are saying and what they're doing, and you can just walk in like you are the shit. And I want you to remember that. You need to have that confidence going forward. Nobody's going to give it to you. And once you flip it around and say, everybody else is a piece of crap too, you don't have to worry about them. They are never going to be impressed with what you're doing because they are so impressed with themselves that they're never ever going to reach out to anybody else. And they're tortured souls with people that are like that. Honestly, very tortured souls when they will crush other people simply because that they think that they're somehow better. And guess what? Nobody is. So go in there and just have confidence. Be yourself. Love who you are. And that's it. You don't have to impress anybody. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day.